All right. Woo. Wonderful. Islam, everyone. How are you? Oh, goodness. I apologize for being a bit tardy. Does anyone have a Quran that I can read from? Anyone? Wonderful. Thank you so much. Welcome to Moor's Heritage and History School, live near Harlem Corporation at Northwest Amexem. Thank you so much for joining us. We always begin the class by reading chapter 25 of the Holy Quran, divinely prepared by Prophet Noble Jew Ali. I'm going to read it. If you are in agreement with it, affirm by saying Islam after I read it. Ye are the children of one Father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate, let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers and sisters, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thine own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him out. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole nation, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam. Because I will take it home. By accident, of course. Islam, how many people listened to the broadcast last night? What is with the bright light? Can anybody get that light turned off? Why do we have such a bright light? Do you need it for the camera? You need it? Okay. Very bright. Sorry, who listened to the broadcast last night? What did you think about the broadcast last night? What was your feeling? Phenomenal? Oh, I like that. You,
I mean, I feel very, wow, moving,
yes.
Speaking about
Yes, the sister that was murdered. You know, I feel for the sister because, you know, we're sisters together, and I would not want what happened to her to happen to anyone. And, you know, when I look at Sandra Bland, Eric Gardner, Michael Brown, we as a people, we have this, our natural reaction is to be emotional, right? We get emotional. We get personal and emotional real fast. And I you know, when my granddaughter passed away a couple of years ago, I was very angry. It was like that year, my son-in-law, my granddaughter, and my nephew, they all passed away, and I was very, very, very angry. But I know that this is a perfect universe. There are no accidents, for real. There are no accidents. Everything that happens because it's supposed to. All of our lives, they are the way they are because we planned it this way before we came here to challenge ourselves so that we will grow, we will evolve, we will expand. And, you know, the prophet said that we're a hard-hearted people. We never do anything except at the point of a sword. And unfortunately, he's so right. And so in order for us to grow, we have to feel things really deeply. We almost damn near have to get cut before we wake up. And it doesn't have to be that way, but until we get to a place where we learn that we can learn our lessons through peace and love, and as opposed to pain and suffering is the default. If you don't ever choose to learn your lesson through peace and love, the default is pain and suffering. So I have to ask myself, how can I deal with this? I know that there are no mistakes. And, I read a story a couple years ago of a woman who wanted to have a son. And she so desperately wanted, well, let me not say a son. She wanted to have a child. And she so desperately wanted to have a child. And one night she had a dream. And this little boy came to her, and he said to her that, I will be your son, but I will only be your son for 17 years. Do you agree to this? And she said yes. Not shortly thereafter, she got pregnant, and she had a son. And on his 17th birthday, he passed. I can't remember the rest of the story, but she was so grieved that she couldn't go on with her life. And I don't remember the exact words of the story, but the boy came to her again in her dream after he had passed on, and he says to her, you agreed to this. You agreed to me coming here and staying here for 17 years. You agreed to this. But the bigger purpose for him making this agreement with her was for her to grow. And that was brought out in the dream she had after, or I should say the conversation she had after he passed on. And when she woke up and, upon reflection, she realized, wow, this was the catalyst for her growth. And both parties agreed to it. Even though you don't remember it, both parties agreed to it. So when I look at what happened to Sandra Bland, Eric Gardner, and Michael Green, those are my granddaughter, my nephew, and my son-in-law. Those are the only ways that I can take this, because I know for a fact this is a perfect universe. And I know everything is perfect. So the only thing that we could be here to do is to learn lessons. What are our lessons? Why are we here to learn lessons? Many of us have this misconception that we're here to get stuff. We're not. That's like, what's the word I want to use? That's like, a trap, so to speak. Because if you're running after stuff, you're never going to face yourself. And that's what it's all about. Many of us live the lives we live because we refuse to face ourselves. Everything that you experience in your life, you first manifested it inside, and you created it inside of you, and then it manifested outside of you. It's such a bitter pill, but it is the absolute truth. There is no one that is trying to do anything to you. You know why things happen to us? Because we watch and listen to stuff that program our minds for bad things, or let me just rephrase that, for things we don't want to happen to us. I'm a child from the 60s, so I remember the music of the 60s and the 70s. It was very uplifting. It was the music of that time shot your consciousness out to space. The music today is not doing that. The music back then was all about unity, peace, harmonious relationships, not just with your mate, but with your family. The music today is not about that. The movies back then were very harmonious and tame, even though many of them probably didn't have people that look like us in them. But here's the rub. We got so many movies today that with people that look like us in them that are far from harmonious. We challenge ourselves to get into the movie industry to only put out movies that perpetuate a manifestation that is programmed into us. You see what I'm saying? Because who would willingly manifest a neighborhood where guns are going off at any given time? Who would manifest a neighborhood where they live in where you may turn the corner and find a dead body that's been there for a couple of days? Who would manifest a neighborhood that they live in where you might go to put the trash out and find a baby in it? Who would manifest that? Who? Would any of you manifest that? Yet all of the movies, many of the movies that we watch, who would manifest a reality where you have people who look alike shooting off guns at each other? Who would manifest that? Right? But a lot of the movies with people that look like us, that's all that's going on. And then you ask them, well, why are you making movies like that? And they say, well, I'm keeping it real. But that's not real. That's a manifestation based on, incorrect input. Let's rewind back to like 710 or 900 or 1000. Let's rewind and look at how we lived then. We didn't live like that. We did not live back then the way we live now. Why? Because somebody else got control of our minds. And it is through your mind that you create. It's not hard work. That's a lie. I'm not saying everybody needs to be lazy. Because really the mind is all about creating. And many of us, we haven't even scratched the surface of our creativity. We don't even know what it is. We don't know if we want to write, draw, chisel wood, make furniture, put, meld metal together. We don't know what we want. We don't know where our creativity is. It has zero output because we're caught up in this world that says you got to work hard so that you can get some Federal Reserve notes so that you can have some food and roof over your head and clothes. That's all we live for. And it's so empty, right? It's so empty. It's missing something. I know it's missing something for everybody here because if it wasn't missing something for you, you wouldn't have found your way here. Because everybody got here because we're searching. It's not by accident. We're all here because we're searching. Right? So now what does that have to do with Sandra Bland, Eric Gardner, and Michael Brown? Their deaths need to be a catalyst for us. They need to be an awakening for us. One of the things that I saw with all three of those, and many, because there's so many, look, I'm going to tell you, if you go on the MHHS Eyes Wide Open Facebook page, you're going to see, I want to say it might be in 2014 or maybe 2013. I don't even remember when we started the page. But if you go there, I remember putting, it's either there or it's on the Moorish news page, where there's like link after link after link after link after link after link of Moors being physically assaulted by police employees. This is not new what's going on. It's been happening for a very, very long, long time. The problem is, or I should say, The problem for them, not for us. The problem for them is now everybody got some way of recording. So it's not hidden, and it's not his word against mine anymore, because everybody got cell phones with recording apparatuses of some sort. You ain't got to carry no bulky camera on your shoulder anymore. You don't even have to be obvious. In some cameras, in some instances, you can get a pen that has a camera in it. I'm looking for one of those. You can get a pen with a camera in it and record so absolutely anonymously, and that is what they are deathly afraid of, because they can do what they have been doing only if nobody knows. And the only way that we are going to be able to repel them, which was demonstrated in last night's broadcast, is with law. And unfortunately, every recorded incident I have seen with our family members being assaulted, nobody one time says anything about the Constitution. Nobody one time says anything about their constitutional right against unlawful search and seizure. Nobody one time said anything about, where's your delegation of authority? What is, nobody quoted case law, but, the supreme law of the land is the American Constitution. When they're harassing you about you have to have a driver's license, there's case law that says you cannot take a liberty, apply a fee and compel people. There's so much case law, but unfortunately, when you look at the people that are being attacked, nobody says it. Everybody goes right to what we automatically do. We cuss, we scream, we get extremely emotional. Now, on the flip side of that, modern Europeans, they study the Constitution. You know why? Because when they go to church, they don't do what happens in the so-called black churches. They don't do that. They go there from 12 to 1. They start on time. They end at 1. They go in the basement, and they start studying the Constitution. They have coffee, danishes, and they have somebody to watch the children if the children are too young. But if the children are not infants, they're sitting in on the class too. I can tell you for a fact. One of my relatives used to go to one of those churches. The 4-H club, the Lions Club. Do you know that the Boys Club, the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, they originally, for the modern Europeans, of course, they teach Constitution. Our boys, so we wanted to have a Boys Club, a Boy Scout and Girl Scout, just like the modern Europeans, because they always set it up for us to want things that they have. Like we didn't have good stuff already. But when they gave us the so-called charter for the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, they left out the whole business about the Constitution. So they are diligently studying the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. And the supreme, being that it is the supreme law of the land, that law, if you go to law school, that is not what's being taught there. Anybody ever looked at going to law school? Besides me? You looked at, did you ever look at the curriculum? Never? Did you ever look at the curriculum? Never? I looked at the curriculum. They don't talk about the Constitution at all. At all. And let me just say, let me qualify that. They do not look at the Constitution at all. The Constitution is 7 articles, 10 amendments. That's the Constitution. What they might teach you is the 14th Amendment. And then they will wrap it all up in statutes and codes. That's it. I can tell you. Anybody, how many people have had any type of an exchange with an attorney? Did you ever say anything to them about the Constitution? Yep. Did they know anything about the Constitution? Nope. The magistrate that's sitting up there running his mouth, they don't know nothing about the Constitution either. Nothing. When I was in front of I went to because we had a caller say, well, y'all whatever us, meaning Moors, whatever Moors say to these modern Europeans is not going to change anything. Well, I can tell you, I went toe-to-toe with a magistrate for 23 minutes. 23 minutes. And I'm going to tell you, I'm here to talk about it. Thank you. Because I was going at it. He tried to tell me the law. I said, no, I'm the law here. I'm going to tell you what the law is. I should have been in contempt of court after that one, right? No. I asked for his delegation of authority. He said, there's no such thing. I said, well, then the Constitution must be absolutely wrong. So you have to, well, I had thought about, and I don't know if I did, but I had thought about playing it, but I don't want it to go over the air. I'm sorry, I don't want it to go over the air. But I have thought about playing it because it was an experience for me. And I have to say that if you are, it's not a bad thing if you're not ready to take a certain position. There's nobody that's going to poke fun at you, really, and if anybody does, you know what to tell them. You got to do what is in your heart to do when you are ready to do it, and don't let nobody pressure you into doing something you're not ready for. And that's why I always tell people, especially when you find this information for the first time, don't change nothing. Because the minute you go change something, you're going to get challenged. And you just found it. You don't even have the information to defend it. So, meaning when I say don't change nothing, let me be specific. Declare your nationality, because the prophet said if you don't do anything, declare your nationality. It means declare for yourself. Declare. In order for you to be clear, that's going to require some studying, right? All right. So he's basically saying study, 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 so you will know, right? He's not saying go out there and start tearing up contracts and badgering, your employer to change it to your free national affiliation and get yourself a one of those driving instruments. He's not saying to do any of that. He's saying study, 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 so that you're clear about what you are, who you are, where you are. And then you need to sit down and investigate all these different areas, because look, if you're working in a job and you need that paycheck to make it, don't mess it up. No, don't mess it up, because you need it. We don't want nobody to be on the streets. We need to really study and catch up so that we can all be back in our homes. Right? So we don't want to do anything prematurely. So if your intent is to approach your employer, study everything there is on that. Don't just run in there, because then they'll say something that you don't even have information on. Right? And I'll tell you, I've never worked in a place where they didn't have a policy and procedure book. And not that you need to know their policy and procedures, but you need to get to know what their mindset is, how they think, what, you know, what, I'm the type of person, if I'm in a situation, I look at all of the scenarios and I cover all the bases. So it would be foolish for me not to look at their policy and procedure book. It would just be foolish because that's an end that I need to cover. But I'm also going to look into federal law. I'm going to look at the state. I'm going to look at the labor laws. But you got to study all of that before you make a move. The same thing with this driving instrument. You have to study before you make a move. Because really, and a lot of people don't get this, the prophet said, oh, thank you so much. Woo! Thank you for that. The prophet said, I'm seeing black spots now. The prophet said, don't do all new business in your free national appellation, right? Now, I don't have any markers. All right. Does business start with the name on a piece of paper in whatever derivative? Does business start with the name on a paper? How does business start? With your signature. Can anybody tell you how to make your mark? There you go. And I can tell you this for a fact. I was transacting some business at a bank. This is when I first, declared my nationality and, and I'm going to tell you what I'm telling you to do, I foolishly did not do. So I'm speaking from experience. Of course, I had a little bit of, I did a little bit of studying. If you can't get on them fast skates, don't get on them because you don't want to fall off. I suggest don't try getting on those fast skates, but I did. This is why I can tell you don't do it. I was transacting some business at a bank, and the teller there, I autographed in my free national appellation, and she looked at it, and she looked at the account, and she said, can you please sign using this name? And I said, no, I cannot. And, we went back and forth, and then her supervisor came over, and he said, don't worry, we will handle this. They ended up, completing the transaction. I came back with my free national appellation papers and everything they needed in order to change the name on the bank account and everything. And they was like, well, no, we need this, that, and the other. We need a driver's license. We need I forget what else. So I wrote a letter to the CEO. I don't deal with clerks. Even back then, I knew that. I wrote a very strong letter to the CEO, and it was also in that time frame that while I was waiting for them to respond back, I was studying because I was expecting them to come back with some consequences. So I was running to study anything and everything regarding the bank and what I can do and what I can't do, and I was running real fast. And I was also reading the prophet's work. I was studying the law, and I was reading and studying the prophet's work. And shortly before the letter came, I realized, wait a minute, I don't need to change the name on the account because that's old business, which by the way, I autographed under the old name, right? So I said, that's all I need to do is autograph new business under my free national appellation. And when that clicked in my head, I was like, okay, I get that. But of course, I needed to really sit down and let it soak in. But after I got that, I got the letter from the bank, and they were saying, oh, we need this, that, and the other, and, you know, it's a federal this and that. And I know better now. It's really, the feds can't mandate you to do nothing. So, you know, but I needed to be able to do what I need to do at this bank. So I said, okay, that's not really a priority at this time. Let me step back and go to something else that is a priority, which was my right to travel. Because, I mean, look, what's the point of kicking butt to get the name on the account at the bank changed if I can't travel to the bank? You know, you have to put things in priority order. But in the meantime, other things came up, and it was like the year of tests. And I'm telling you, I was one of those people who went to my job, and see, at that time you can go into the computer and you can do your name change on the computer. And so I did. And I got my check in my free national appellation. It was all in caps too. So that was that I didn't agree to that. But it was all in caps, right? So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to combat this? And I'm going to tell you how manifesting your thoughts will manifest things, because all the time I'm thinking, okay, I know they're going to come at me somehow. I got to study and be prepared. I got to study and be prepared. And because I kept thinking they're going to come at me, guess what happened? They came at me. So I had to study. It's a good thing I was studying like all the time, studying all the time, reading everything I could get my hands on. And so I was repelling and repelling and repelling. So when people tell you that the Constitution and law does not repel, I am standing here right now telling you, yes, it does. It does if you study it and you absorb it and you enforce it. I know for a fact, because I'll tell you of another incident that I had. What was it? One of my daughters had to go to a court for small claims, credit card. And we went in there because my daughter she said, I want to do this myself. So I gave her some information. I said, study this, study this. So she studied everything. Love my daughter. She studied everything I gave her. And when we went into court, I was there, and the magistrate was trying to scare her, and, you know, she ain't backing down. And she got a bit flustered, so I slid the proper paperwork for her to read in front of her. And I'm telling her this, you know, this is what you want to read, not this. And the magistrate tries to scare me. If you don't stop talking at all. And I was not even afraid by then, because I'd done been in front of magistrates enough times to know. So I looked at him and I was like, and or what? And, you know, next thing I know, there was like marshals coming out of every opening door surrounding us. So I got on my phone, 911. I started talking Constitution and law, Constitution and law, Constitution and law. So you better not touch any of us. And we were guided out of the building. And when we got outside, 2 cruisers pulled up. The guy came, talked to us. We told him what happened, and as we was talking, this mom European ran up. He said, I saw everything. I'll testify. And we broke down the law, the Constitution to these 2 police employees. Next thing we know, the supervisor pulls up. And the supervisor says to the guys, what did he say? Do you need me? And the 2 police employees turned to us and said, is everything to your satisfaction? Do you need us to do anything on your behalf? And I turned to my daughter, I said, do you need anything? She said, no. Do you need anything? I said, no. And so he turned to his supervisor and said, no, we're good. Now, one of the police employees had gone inside. Now, remember, this is credit card, right? And he came out of the building called the court, comes up to us and says, from the magistrate, the magistrate don't know what the problem is. He dismissed this. So, don't see, they will test you. But if you're not studying, you're going to fall down. They're going to eat you up, because that's what they do. They will eat you up. So don't let nobody tell you that the Constitution is not on point. Don't let nobody tell you that the Constitution can't repel, quote, so-called white people. Anybody who's telling you that probably never studied and never enforced the Constitution, don't know who wrote it, don't even know it's the supreme law of the land. But you don't have to be mad at them about it, because everybody's going to come to the law at one point or another, because if you came out of the law, you got to return to the law, right? How many people know who the law is? Who's the law? Why are you the law? Yes, but be more specific. Why are you the law? See, I wish I had my marker, because if I was able to write it on the board, you would know exactly why you're the law. Why are you the law? What is law an acronym for? I said, what is law an acronym for? Length, angle, width. That's why you're the law. Your length, angle, width manifested in the flesh. And who laid down the law? That's right. So now when I ask you what's your nationality, you're all paying homage to who? Your mother. My markers are on the way up. So, let's see. So back to Sister Sandra Bland. I have to say, I was very emotional as I watched, or I should say as I listened to what happened to the sister. I was very emotional when I watched what happened to Eric Gardner, and I was very emotional when I heard about what happened to Michael Brown. And I made a vow, and I hope you do too, and I hope everybody listening makes a vow, that their death will not be in vain, not if I can help it. I am awake, and, I am about the business of raising my energy so that as I go about my day, I might touch somebody, because it ain't about your words, it's about your energy. But your energy is not going to raise if you're not studying, right? Because that's how it happens. It's not really your words, it's not what you say. It's, it's that invisible energy that surrounds you that will touch people, and it's just that touching that will, wake them up. Get them to searching. Get them to searching. Get them to searching. And you never know. And the beauty about it is you never know who your energy is going to touch and wake up. You never know. So that's why you need to just be about the big. That's why the prophet said, I gave you enough to save a nation. Now save yourself. Because if you save yourself, you ultimately help to save a nation. Islam, yes, because and it also goes to another way of saying that is, am I my brother's keeper? Many of us don't even understand what that means. Am I my brother's keeper? I know most of us will say, no, I'm not. You're not my brother's keeper. I ain't got no true control over what he does or what he doesn't do. But really, you are. Because your brother is you, and you are your brother. Because there's only one mother. That means it can only be one of us, right? But the test, or the trick, I should say, is that we're in this room and we look at all these different looking people, different clothes, sitting in these different seats, and we think, wow, there's a whole bunch of people in this room, when really, is there more than one energy on planet Earth? There's only one energy. That means there's only one people. There's only one. But the trick is, when you look out and you see many, do you start distancing yourself because you think you're seeing many? When in reality, there's only one energy. There's not even a body. It's all energy. Right? It's all energy. How do you know that you're not this physical manifestation? How do you know that you're nothing more than energy manifested? Something to think about, right? See, because I'm just one of these people who I have studied all my life. I have read all my life. And I want to say I was never interested in reading the Bibliothek, referred to as the Holy Bible. I was never interested. You know when I started reading it? Back in like 1995, because I got tired of people talking to me, quoting the Bible to me. So I read it myself because I wanted to see if I would come to the same conclusion as them. Sound reasonable, right? Well, that brought me into all sorts of facets of the Bible. I got this comprehension of the Bible that many people miss. You got these buildings full to capacity of people, and they have absolutely no idea what that historical record, astrological historical record, is trying to teach you. But then that brought me into metaphysics. And that was pretty deep. Metaphysics. Metaphysics. That brought me into metaphysics, and metaphysics will blow your mind. It's not different from the Bible. It's just the Bible, you know. The Bible is a good starting point. That's why I went, and I was listening to my sister, and she was like, I felt the need to join a church. Who knew that I was going to end up at a Russian Orthodox church? Russian Orthodox church with our Moorish gold domes. All right? And a couple of years we got Jengo, who told me why the Russians were so nice to me. Because they recognized who I was. Went into this church and all the icons looked like me. Yes? I'm sorry, say that again? Right. Well, true. That's right. That's right. They did, but those were the Johnny-come-latelys who didn't know that the planets revolved around it. True. That's right. That's right. Yes.
at one point they were saying what?
Mhm.
They took that same idea and put it in students. Got students. But look at the structure and explain rotation around. Maybe it's not like that. Maybe
Well, we'll see. If you do a little bit of studying, then you'll know that. See, if you're not going to study, then you'll fall for anything. What you both said absolutely means that if you're not studying, anybody can come and tell you anything, and you will fall for it. And there's nothing wrong with somebody coming and telling you something, but you ought to have the presence to take that information that you just received and go and research it and study it. That's what I did when I came here in 2008. I wrote down, jotted down a lot of stuff that I think I was recording. I think I bought a little tape recorder, but I was recording either on a recorder or writing down. I came with pen and paper every week, and I jotted down as much as I could remember of what was said, and then I would go home and look it all up. And I can tell you, I might have looked up one or two, and the two took me to someplace else, and I never got to the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got stuff written down from back then that I still haven't looked up because 1, 2, 3 took me somewhere else. But this is about us growing, and like I was saying, metaphysics will blow your mind. It takes you completely out of the third dimension into no dimension, really, because there is no dimension. Everything is a manifestation of mind, everything. So what we need to do is, I'm going to go back to this, and then I'm going to turn it over to RVBey. We need to not let the deaths of Sandra Bland, Eric Gardner, and Michael Brown be in vain. If they volunteered to sacrifice their energy to be a catalyst for us waking up, we need to wake up. Islam? All right.
Use that. Yes. Oh, I don't need my phone. Right? Oh, what is that? I'm disconnected. Oh, it's weird. I don't have anything at all. You know, because you were bringing it back. Islam, everyone. Peace and love. You were bringing it back to astrology law. You said length angle width, which is the length angle width of the planetary energy. It's so interesting because today I had a conversation with someone regarding, really in essence, regarding us having other people tell us to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Now, it was a very good conversation regarding the fact that some like to say, just as they do not know the law, the constitution, the law of this land, they often like to also, because they didn't study astrology enough, to throw the baby out with the bathwater, because Ptolemy said this, and the Greeks said that, and it's really no time, and we can't really decide what our chart is because we're going by their stuff, and they threw out the 13th sign, like the 13th sign, and they changed the dates and all that. It doesn't matter about any calendars that may exist. So first thing was this. The 13th sign, or what people are calling the 13th planet that they left out, is you. You're the 13th center of that wheel. So they're talking about, they thought that the sun went around the earth and the earth. None of that is equivalent. So we got to the point where it really isn't about the sun sign. It's about the moon, right? The moon is your soul. That's who you are. Now, the great thing about it, there is no time. Only cycle. And the moon is operating on 777. So the question that was asked was great, Bill. It's all off and all that, and sometimes it's 30 days, and sometimes it's 29 or 31 in a month. When you talk a sun cycle, I said, well, how many days is there in a month? And so if I were to say, how many days are there in a month? You said 30, what did you say? 28, you said. Mm-hmm. Some people say 30, some people say 31. There isn't but 7. See, this is why you got the circle 7. Because it is the zodiac wheel. It is without a contradiction. Now, so I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, 7. That's all you're working on. More proof. 7 days of the week. Named after 7 planets. Right? The sun, Sunday, affirmed in what they call Spanish, which is Moorish Latin. Affirmed in it. Sunday, Domingo, Monday, Moon, Luna. Tuesday, Mars, Martes. Wednesday, Mercury, Mercury. Thursday, Jupiter, J for Science, Nuevo. Friday, Venus. Right? Saturday, what? Sábado. Saturn. Now, why was man created in the flesh on the 6th day, which is the Uranus, and then formed in the flesh on the 6th day, and he was formed in the flesh, and he was, what's the word I'm looking for? Out of the flesh. Came out of the flesh on the 6th day, right? Right? Huh? Yes. Man was formed in the flesh on the 6th day, right? And he was manifest from the flesh on the 6th day, right? Isn't that what's in the Circle 7 101, right? Huh? Yes, it is. Right? Now, why? The 6th day is what? Friday, right? Because the first day of the week is Sunday. 6th day is Friday, right? Right. That's Venus, the Uranus, right? That's the mother, right? So formed in the flesh. It's formed in the womb. Departed is the word that it says. And man was departed from the flesh on the 6th day, meaning you came out of your mother's womb. Departed from the flesh does not mean death, like I used to think. Like many might see when they see that. Man was formed in the flesh on the 6th day, which is Venus, which is mother, which is Maya, which is the womb. And man departed from the flesh on the 6th day, which is departing from your mother's womb. So Friday is that day, right? But it is the holy day. And the reason it is the holy day, as it stated, is because man was formed in the flesh on the 6th day and departed from the flesh on the 6th day. So you go to the bibliotext text, Genesis 1, not Genesis 2, where it says we are formed, we were manifested on the 6th day, right? That's what it says in Genesis. Genesis 2 talking about the descendants of Adam and Eve. That's not you. So your divine being manifested. Right? So now, back to the 7. Because the 7 is the moon. The moon is who you are, and it is secured to work on a clock of 7777. Back to the circle 7. That's all there is. 7 days in a week. How many in a month? How many in a year? Who would say 365? I know some would be thinking it, but you can't name the 365 days that you say exist in a year. Name them. You can name the 7. We just did, didn't we? Because all there is a cycle of 7. That is it. That is all. And the moon works repeatedly on the 7. And then it's supposedly a sun cycle of what you think might be 30 days, 31 days. The moon is on the 7th. The moon is your soul, like she said, without the dimension. Because the spirit, which is what you get with the sun, character, animates the soul. And the body, which is the rising, the physical, how you wrote, can murder the flow itself. Because manifestation in flesh is a dropping down of the densities. In chapter 1, circle 7, the ethers, got lower and lower, denser and denser. And here you're looking at the light energy, all of us, energies manifest. Right? Make sense? That is? So once we go to, it don't matter what some great people thought or said or did or whatever, it don't matter. Because they were studying astrology they were trying to, astronomy is the geography of the planets, where they're located, and they move in cycles. Astrology is the effect. So they were trying to keep you from the effect of learning astronomy while they were studying astronomy. But you can't separate because it's energy, right? So baby, I was back with that which we do not understand or understand or understand. You can stand under that which is inner, and you can stand over, under, inner, the whole thing. So a lot of people do that just as we do the same thing with law that was scribed in the principles of divine law. The constitutional law of this land is the most spiritual that exists because it is written in the spirit of divine law. Now, who knew that? I'm going to say who knew that. No. I thought. Right. Everybody knows those who need to know. The miseducation, right? Everyone else knows, but those who need to know. So knowing that it is scribed in the principles of divine law. Because, the law, it can't really be written anyway, so it is scribed in those principles, and it is limited. Because it's written for those that we had to follow the law. Because we are the law. So it was written to preserve, protect, and secure our already given rights and liberties that can't really be all written anyway. But if you follow this over here, nobody's going to be molested. Which is why Prophet Noble Jew Ali said, enforce the Constitution for the United States of America that you can't be a citizen of, so that's the one. So that you would what? Not be what? Molested. That's why he said to enforce it, so you wouldn't be molested. And then he took you to any man who is off for their nationality, and they don't fall up to it. They'll be what? Abused by who? Other citizens. So that's why you have to put yourself in your proper status first so that you can answer up to a national constitution, not a state constitution. But now, at the same time, the state constitution is supposed to be in harmony with the national. In other words, they want to go over here and do this, do that. No, okay, fine. Just don't step on my toes. Don't mess with my posterity, my children, or my children's children's children, and we're going to be all right. This is the law of the land, of which we have not collectively nor individually, or, individually nor collectively been aware of, because we always been, that's the white man's law. Ignorance is greatest, but it's all right. What I just said is the truth. We all know. We used to say it. I used to say it. You used to say it. because of the lack of knowledge of what is. So that's to this law, this Constitution, which is written in the spirit of the Bible, therefore is a religious document. Therefore is, and the power behind it, the people, are you and I. It is actually protecting and preserving and securing for those who are those who hold on one second. Uno momento. I made up that word. Give me a second. Uno momento. Huh? Jeez, I just lost my train. Those who are, my train of thought just went out the window. All right, because I'm trying to stay in line with this. Huh? This is a lack of knowledge. She will repeat that again, right? Due to our lack of knowledge, we don't know that Constitution, which is the law of the land, which was written to, so we won't get lost, provided we follow it, was written to keep those off of us and our posterity. So we have to enforce it. What else is this to enforce? I know. Nothing else. This is one nation. There is no other nation. I'm going to keep saying it until we bring it home. An insignia is the great seal. Is the pyramid, or what we call the pyramid, which is also coming off of the astrology wheel. Everybody know where it comes from? In symbology, because man must learn about what? Signs and symbols too. Believe me, they coded it. Kind of long. That's all right. So you got your circle, and you got your, oh, that's another thing. Putting down or not understanding the depictions of animals in the wheel and zodiac. Zodiac is sheep. The experiment that we had with the human DNA, because that's how I'm raised, and it's a human race. So anybody who thinks, again, want to clear it up for those in the room and for those listening again and again and again, that to be human does not mean you're a monster. A monster is in human form with animal characteristics and no inheritable blood. That's the definition. Who might that be?
Modern European.
Who did the human DNA, who did we give our DNA and mix it with to even create them? That's the monster. There's no inheritable blood there either. And we know it was mixing animals. So when you look at the zodiac wheel with the animals on it, it's a depiction of something that's just the source. It depicts the actual experiment. Now, you look at another zodiac wheel with numbers and stuff in it, it's the same wheel, so we can't throw away the source just because somebody stuck animals on it. Because it means something else. You can take the same zodiac wheel and then you have Aries on the right instead of the left. Well, isn't it supposed to be on the left and the right? Whatever is that depicting the age calendar. That's just the age calendar. Because backwards through the ages, masterminds trace themselves and thus they know. However, the age is something that goes longer, 2,142 years, then that's what they say, but there's no time. It's cycles. So people say, well, we're in the age of Aquarius, right? And so the answer, well, are we there yet? Are we in it yet? All right, so everything goes back to your body and to the woman. It's the truth. Because when you see Aquarius, the water bearer, oh, and that's another thing, I didn't forget. It was also shared that all of these energies were feminine. Because, of course, because female means feminine and masculine. So there, of course it is, because that's who she is. She's both in terms of energy, in terms of principles. We keep talking in terms of the manifestation in the flesh without realizing that as above is so below, and that the masculine energy and feminine energy has always existed, but not necessarily in this human form until that occurs in here. Miracle child, how do you take that? Add that female and make it into a male. That's the miracle son. So, back to what I'm saying. If you look at the books of Moses, every single astrology sign has an EL on the end, which is feminine. Ariel, Toniel, Geminiel, Geminiel, Canceriel, Virgoniel, right? Leoniel, Virgoniel, did I say that? It's Leoniel, Virgoniel, Virgo, Libriel, I love the way that sounds, Libriel, all right? And Scorpioniel, Sagittariel, I like that. Capricorniel, Aquariel, I love that name. That's Aquariel. And then last but of course not least, Pisceal. Yeah, what's wrong? That's what it is. So now, we got that. So you got Aquarius, which of course was originally, if you really go into astrology, the figure of a woman. But you know, oh, she's naked, let's put a cloth on now, it's a guy. Well, whatever, they just change it, right? So now, here's Aquarius, we're in the age of information. He's pouring water, she's pouring water. Where is the water being poured? You got to understand code, simple signs, and you got to relate as of above to so below. Where is the water that Aquarius is pouring, the water bearer, air sign, but water bearer, where is he pouring the water? Huh? Nope. On the astrology wheel, where is he pouring the water? And Pisces? Bingo. And Pisces is Sophia the womb. Right? So water represents what? Knowledge, right? Right? So he's pouring this water into Sophia. It's getting you, right? It's hitting you. You can't escape it. The truth is the truth, and it turns on the light. Truth was never hidden. If you open your mind, it'll find its way through the cracks and the crevices. No one ever taught you the truth. It is the truth, and it never changes. Open your mind, and it'll find its way and make herself at home. Mysteries of the Secret Brotherhood of the East, Chapter 4. Now, pouring this water of knowledge into the womb, which is Pisces, which is Sophia, right? Sophia, the womb. And when those waters fall, just like in birth, when the waters swell, when a woman is pregnant, out comes the new birth. That's when Aquarius and the age of information has arrived. When the sisters get it in their womb, this information, so that they can birth out the new being. And that's it, and that's all. Ain't going to happen no other way. That's why Aquarius, the age we in, water, representing symbolically knowledge, is pouring water into the womb. Because you ain't going to have no baby. Right? I'm just saying. She is. No matter what her influences are on the planetary bodies or not, she is forming in the flesh. She has it in her flesh. That is the Holy Day. That is why. So there's the symbology. Pisces is the beginning and, is the end, right? of the adulterer, right? Right? Therefore, it's got to be the beginning, too. Because if you were at the end of anything, you were also at the beginning of something else. So, the first word that you navigated upon is the 7, here we go with the 7 again, 7 stages of development in the waters of your mother's womb. And see, they took out the 7, and they took out the woman too, and unless you put this back, that's true, it ain't going to go down. So the age of Aquarius is here when you have enough information that you yourself can be of new birth. You yourself. Because, see, when you look at the process of the astrology wheel and how it goes, it is applied widely and closely. It doesn't matter. It applies to everyone at whatever stage you are at. The protocols, the principles do not change. When principles change, something's wrong. And that is why when you're dealing with the astrology and you add those, you see that master seal that says 3, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees on a 90-degree angle. Now we're talking an angle. 90, 90, 90, 90, 360. You're born on a square because this is a square. You're born somewhere in here. So it's 333, they call that the master seal, right? In most of the societies, you see 333. That's what they're talking about. Because every quadrant every season has 3 months. All right, I got you, bro. I got you. But I got you. Let me just show what I was doing this for was a great seal. I've done this before, but I'm going to do it again. The great seal is, the pyramid, which it comes from having, say, if this is the earth sign, if you go down to the Capricorn, right? If you go down to Taurus, and then go over here to Virgo, and then back to Taurus again, that represents the harmonies of the earth sign. You can do the same thing with the air, you can do the same thing with the water, you can do the same thing with the fire, and you're going to create this symbol right here. This symbol right here is not the Illuminati symbol. It's not some group that practices, devil worship, although anybody can do that. If you are operating with your lower self, you are practicing devil worship. Because the devil is a reflection of your lower self, that's it, and that is all. So the reason why this symbol is used even on the contract of the Federal Reserve is because this is the ancient symbol of civilization, and it also represents your sun, your moon, and your rising. I'm sorry, the sun would be here. Your sun, which is that symbol with a circle, your moon, and your rising and or ascendant is the same thing how you rise. From right? From the dead place, rise, right? That's all symbolic. So that's where the energies were when the moment you were born. This is when the moon is your real soul self and is what you were conceived in and will pass form in, because that is your beginning. Nothing falls far from its beginning. You can track yourself and go back and count those 40 weeks and find the day your mama conceived you. It's going to be the same moon you were born in and the same one you passed form in. Nothing falls far from its origin. That's your soul. That's your soul. Expressing itself through the sun. That's the spirit. The spirit animates the soul. And then the body is up here, how you actually rose when you came through your body energy, physical energy. That body right there can kill the soul. Harmony it must have. So this right here is an ancient symbol of civilization. That's what it is. There ain't no Illuminati, nothing, ain't no devil worship, ain't none of that. That's what it is. And since this is you, your Trinity, this is you,
and you take you, and you join it with another you, another person, another being, then you have that symbol right there. That ain't nobody's, devil worship sign. It ain't nobody's Jewish nothing. That is the Hex Alpha. That is two beings coming together. That's what it is. You want to call it some other crap is because you don't know. And this way, they have now made you throw the baby out with bathwater because you think this is some other stuff. So we can break down these religious pseudo barriers that keep us apart from each other, because all of it comes from the one source. And if we could do that, then we will stop having religious controversy. Because as it says in the Prophet Ali's work, he says there will be religious controversy until we know what it is all about. And he said, although the sun does hang at high noon, you still don't get it. Because disciples are religiously moving and doing it. That's law, order, and governing principles. That's length, angle, and width of the energies that affect you and affect you while you was in your mother's womb, along with everything else that she did or didn't do. Islam, brother. Do we have a mic for, can you do that? Here it is. Can you give him this, you usually work the mic for us, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder, Reagan. No wonder. Islam.
I was also just going to say.
It's all right.
When you were showing the threes all over.
Yes.
I was also going to say there's usually there's 3 signs in each season.
Yes.
4 seasons, 3 signs. 4 seasons, 3 signs. So circle 7 again.
Circle 7 again. Thank you. That's correct. It's 4 seasons. Thank you, brother. It's 3 in each season, whether it's warm, hot, cold, don't matter. Because the land is rising, baby. If it's coming back, it's going to be warm where it was cold and cold where it was warm. And that does not change the cycle. This is fundamental principle. So yeah, if it's each season, each one of these little quadrants here, this makes the season. This is the equinox, equator, spring, equinox. That's Aries leading on. What's springing forth? Whatever came out of Mama's womb from Pisces, that's what's springing forth. Whatever came out of Mother Earth, that's what's springing forth. Oh, yes, indeed. This is a guide to go by, but you must throw out what's not good and make sure you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to, astrology, that's this, that's that. But it's a book of what is, what was, and what is to come. So, contradiction on that one. And so you have your equinoxes, right? I'm going to show you something. Then you have your solstices. Solstice. And then you have these both of your winter solstice, which we just passed through on the master class, and then you have your summer solstice too. There's a summer solstice that's exactly the same as the winter solstice, and there's a spring equinox and a fall. Spring, fall, spring, fall. Guess what? What is this about, this cycle? It's about the relationship of the sun to the earth. That's what it's about. However those cycles go down is about the relationship of the sun and its cycle. Because the sun is springing forth here, but this isn't the home of the sun. The home of the sun is as after the winter solstice. Summer solstice in Leo. Leo is the home of the sun. It's exalted in Aries, but that ain't its home. Its travel is through the summer solstice reaching Leo. That's why Leo people are the center of attention, whether they want to be or not. Because the sun is the center of attention of the solar system that we have to be in right now. That's why. So it carries those same energies with it. That's why. Not because they want to be. They can't help it. It's the way it is. And in understanding it, we're cool. So this is all about, look, this is all about the sun cycle. The sun goes this way. Now what's this going to look like? We're going to look like that swastika, right? Right? But it's not, because the swastika goes in reverse to possess. But if you knew that it went this way in the first place, you would have recognized that that shit's going the other way. But since you think it belongs to the Germans, and it's a bad thing, you threw it out. So you threw the baby out with the bathwater. That's what you did. Because they took the symbolism, signs and symbols that you established, reversed it, applied it, did whatever with it, and you didn't even recognize it. And it ain't nothing but signs and symbols for you. All of it is signs and symbols. All of it is a sign and symbol language of energy. This, circle with the dot, son. This, moon, right? This, Jupiter. This, Venus. All of those stuff. Oh my gosh, the prophecy of witchcraft. It's a freaking sign of a planet. What the heck? That's what it is. You know? But that's what they do, and they do it on TV all the time. Yeah, so they were practicing witchcraft, and I look, because I see what the signs are. Oh, that's the Venus sign. Oh, that's the Saturn sign. Oh, that's the Jupiter sign. Why do they want to make that something bad? Because they want you to think so. Because if you truly understand this, you can get off of this fickle wheel of fate called astrology wheel. Now, if someone really wants to challenge some stuff, let's challenge the fact of what it really is. Let's challenge what does it really mean. Let's challenge when people say, well, if it's already slated on what's going to happen, why do I need to know? It's already done. It's divine law. Yep, it is divine law. But it's also showing you how the energies work. In other words, if you know that as the cycles and as energy moves, that say if Mars gets too close to Uranus, right, the energy is just like with people. The energy is, you know, it's fight time. Uranus ain't bending, right? And Mars is always ready to fight. That indicates the outward energy. Whereas Pluto is the reverse of Mars because it indicates the inward underlying energy. That's just what it is. Matter of fact, Pluto is made of all water. So Pluto is the womb when it comes to these outer planets, the three outers, because you got 7 and you got 3. Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. That's the trinity of the 3 that breathes out, and the 7 Elohim. This is symbolic, the 7 planets. The 3, the water, electricity is Uranus, like you to the sperm, and Neptune is where the spirits rest, because you are a soul. Until you will manifest, thank you, until you will manifest in the flesh. Right? So that's the outer trinity and the 3 triangle principle that brings out the 7. You know. There it is. So now, Mars is too close to Uranus. Uranus has a certain energy, unbending, that's for sure. Mars is ready to fight, you know, like that, right? So now you know that's going down, right? Faith. If you know that, stay away from it if that's what you need to do. So in other words, oh man, I should have brought it. I don't think I brought it with me, but this poster that I have. Oh, thank you. There's this poster that I have that I got out of Max Heindel, Heindel, called Message of the Stars, which is a book that was done in the 1800s, early 19s, but They had just discovered Pluto in 1832. Now, here's a good one. These people just discovered Pluto in 1832. Pluto's always been there. So you want to follow after that, or you want to know the source and understand the sequences of things? You see what I'm saying? Because our minds are to follow after whatever they say. But when you do the studies, if you are studying it, and you know that astronomy is the geography, where the planet is, you know, you may say Mars here. Might have a problem, right? But that's the energy that's going to be bestowed. And then you know that the effect of that is the astrology, psychological. So that's the effect is the astrology. So that's the astrologic, the logic of two energies being halfway. Oh, 20 degrees conjunct. They're very close. Oh, 60 sextile. You know what? Their energies are not going to be too bad because they're far enough away from each other that no matter what my energy is, it ain't going to hurt you. You see? Oh, are they 90 degrees away from each other? Yeah, their energies are definitely squaring off because of the movement of the energy itself squares when I'm at a 90-degree angle. Right? I mean, it's challenging. Right? The universe is mathematics. Those are degrees. Do you understand what I mean by the square, the challenge? Okay, I got everything in here but an eraser. Anybody got a cloth I can use to erase? I didn't bring the eraser. Islam, I thought you up. I thought you up, brother. I thought you up. Didn't spare the energy? I thought you up. Thought about you, wondered what's up. Good to see you. That's how it works. That's how it works. Because I was just concerned about how you do, how you be, how you are. So what happens? He shows up. That's the energy. You create your own reality. Asking you will receive. That's be very careful about what you do, understanding that. Because you always get stuff. I heard Annie mention earlier that you say you don't want. Well, then why'd you manifest it? And people say, well, what do you mean? Because I'm here too, and I wasn't a part of it. Yeah, you are. Because now we go into perception. Perception. The way you perceive what just happened might be different from the way you perceived it. So now it's your perception. Because that becomes your reality. Same thing can happen. That's what polarities are. Got to understand polarities. And each of the astrology signs have a polar effect. Shana. It's the same damn energy on opposite ends of the pole. That is why opposites, if they come together, they are the perfect mate. Perfect mate. Because they're the same thing done different ways. You know when you're with your polar reflection, because you say, Dad, I wish I could do that like you. You don't know that you appreciate, you see it. Some people you'll be with won't even see your qualities because they're not compatible with you. Fire ain't going to necessarily see a whole lot of good things in water, except for someone trying to push that water out, put that fire out. It's not going to happen. This is logical stuff. This is elementary stuff, accordingly. But we were thrown away from the astrology because if you were to find this, you could find you, learn how to tolerate him instead of rebuking him or her or whatever because you understand the energy. And we do it every day and don't even know it. You ever be around someone and just they walk in a room and their energy don't work with you? Has it ever happened to you? That's why. Because it's nothing but energy. So now, imagine you trying to have a relationship, sisters, brothers, sons, with someone that has an opposing energy just because they look good to you. Why do they look good? Maybe they're your rising. Because rising is the physical presentation of your soul, not That's, your moon is who you are. Yeah, so God, you know what I mean? That's your soul. Expressing yourself through the sun characteristic, whatever that is, which gives you the spirit, animates that soul. And then how you ride is just what it looks like. Don't mean it what it is all the time. So you may be attracted to the rising, the way it looks. That might be the attraction, but when you get to the core of it, it don't work. Because first of all, that person you're dealing with, they're not even in harmony with themselves because mothers didn't use the science when they conceived them in the first place. So they're born with a messed up trinity. They got fire and water on their trinity. They put out their own daggone fire. They look at you right now with you. Right? Right? So let me just go into why this is important. Because this is how family planning is done. It's not spooky, it's real. This fickle wheel of fate. If one is going to slay dragons, they must know that dragon. You must know it. Astrology points the way. That's it. So don't say, well, I'm not going to do anything because it's going to happen anyway. No, what's going to happen anyway is if certain energies come together, it's going to cause an effect. That's the fate of it. That's it, that's all. And it's sure to be. Now look at what's happening with, look, California was crying and crying for water, right? Look! Abundance. But now go back a little further, because man makes dams and bridges and things that prevent the natural flow of Mother Earth and Mother prevent that natural flow. They made it so that land would become arid because they're directing the water from down out. It's just like originally when these settlers, these European settlers, finally got to settle after we let them be free by the British letting them, British was giving them their freedom and, you know, like, all right, yeah, okay, hope you can grow some food, let me show you how and stuff like that, you know, peace and love and stuff. But I tell you what, don't you build your house on that mountainside. Don't you even think about building your house right here. Because Mother's water's coming here, come every 10 years, every 12 years, every cycle, whatever it is. Don't build your house like this. The water gonna come. Take it away. What do they do? They built their house there because there's no respect for nature. That's why. Ask the natives, which was us, not Indians, the natives, we told you not to do that. So what's happening in California, another example when it's happened before, you going to build your house on the side of the mountain because you think that's cute. Okay. Well, the waters are rising. Some of the mountains are unfreezing. Soil's getting a little loose. I think your foundation was not secure. Because I had enough sense to know that. Because, see, we've been around for a long time, and we've seen the tides come and the tides go. And we sat and told stories about the tides coming and the tides going. It is called the ebb and the flow. What is that? The negative and negative and positive energies, that's what it is. Ebb and flow is the same thing as yin and yang. As up and down, right? As left and right. As polarities on a battery, positive and negative. And not to leave out so that we can have proper understanding. Masculine and feminine. These are all the same things because that's the ebb and the flow of life. You can even do your own, what I call chart, where you can find out how many positive signs and how many negative signs. Negative don't mean good. It means ebb and flow. In and out, in and out, in and out. Movement of life, right? And then if you look at that, you can do a compatibility chart based on the fact that you got, let's say you have an exceptional amount of masculine or what they call positive signs. Outgoing energy. That's all it means. It's the outgoing. It's the ebb of the flow. See? Or it's the flow of the ebb and flow. Because the ebb is in and the flow is out. The ebb is in and the flow is out. The ebb is in and the flow is out. You're either a water sign or earth sign, which means you coming in. You're ebb. You're either a fire or air. That means you're outgoing. That's it. That's all. That's all there is. So let's say you had 7 out of 10 masculine outgoing signs. How the hell are you going to get along with a sister that got 7 too? It ain't going to happen. It's not going to work. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because the outgoing, like a polarity of anything, you've got to have the incoming in order for it to work. There has to be the ebb and the flow. So one, you gotta have 7 outgoing, one you gotta have 7 incoming. Click. Click. It works. Right? You get that? This is why in the old days when you say, well, yeah, my parents picked and chose my mate. I'm not saying that's right, that's wrong. That's all they were dealing with. Ain't gonna work. First of all, anybody who had 7 of anything or 8 of anything is an unusual situation. I was just exaggerating it to show you what I was trying to create, right? But everyone has negative and positive or masculine and feminine energies in their chart. And you have to pretty much have, like you have to have that click. That's undertone, that click. That has to click before you even get into the characteristics of the sign. Just the ebb and the flow got to work. Because the ebb and the flow is guaranteed, right? So, you know what I mean? Now, people who do have, and this is for all of you so you don't feel bad about yourself, or you don't feel like something wrong with yourself. If you do have 7 or 8 outgoing or 7 or 8 incoming, right? You may have a harder time finding the one with 7 or 8 on the other end, but it's not really hard. If you look at, what's up, it's what's up because you're going to attract anyway. So if you got 8 outgoing, 8 masculine, you are an outgoing person, period, done. There ain't gonna be no other way. You are an outgoing person. You can't help it. That's who you are. I wanted to say that's who you is, but I know it's wrong. It's wrong. That's wrong language. Somebody gonna record that and say, see, she can't even speak correctly. I was gonna say correct English. I mean, I said, wait a minute. I'll go there, then what? English. That's the Europeans' language. No, we created it. Who is that? That's why you brought it earlier. Because you created it. You established it for them. The germs, the Germans, we talked about earlier. And if you watch the movie Jupiter Rising, right? And Frankenstein, I think it's Jupiter Rising. Yeah. Oh, no, you mentioned Django. Oh, symbolic. Why did the Germans feel obligated to assist him? Because he is. So now their language, they don't create A, E, I, O, and U, do they? A, E, I, O, and U is not in the germs out of the petri dish. Germans vocabulary is it. They don't use A, E, I, O, and U. So they talk chopped up, right? Because they're not saying the vowel sound. What are the vowels? A, E, I, O, and U, right? And of course they're interchangeable. Part of your study. M-E-R, M-A-R, M-O-R, M-I-R, Mir, Amir, America, Moor, Mary, Waters, all the same, right? It doesn't matter whether it's M-E. That's why people say, well, are you M-U-U-R or are you M-O-O-R, Moor? What the hell? It's just the language. A, E, I, O, and U are interchangeable. They are the vowels. Who said it? Who said it? Where? Oh, yeah, I show it. Where's it? Oh, there it goes. They're the vowels of the L. All right. I can say that. I can say that. Some people are visual. We all know that. V-O-W. You took a vowel. This is a spoken word, right? V-O-W-E-L. Vowels of the L. So since they are not from on high, the germ man from the petri dish, they can't say the vowels of the L. So they don't. It's not in the vocabulary. As we progress, and we keep mixing that seed, and as they have progressed, you know, when the settlers, when colonists came, they didn't speak very well at all, did they? No. You couldn't understand them either. They spoke Gaelic, what we call Gaelic, similar. These are facts of history that is important to know. They didn't come here with the English language like that. We had to establish it too, because what is the word? We civilized, right? Y'all know that, right? Moors of Spain, they tell you that the Moors of Spain conquered Spain, don't they? Right? That's a lie. That's a lie. How do you know it's a lie? Because you went and looked up what they did. And everything they did not conquer. It's civilized. So the first thing you need to do when they say, oh, you from the Moors of Spain? And they conquered Spain? I mean, the Moors have conquered Spain? No. The Moors have civilized Spain. And then, here's the easy part. You can take yourself or your child to a dictionary. I thought I saw it in a regular old dictionary. You know? And it just told you what they did. Jesus, how you doing? Told you what they did. They taught them how to grow food. Right? Man, Bauhaus is right. Is that called conquering or is that called civilizing? Then stop saying Moors conquered Spain. The reason they say it is because they're trying to conquer you. They don't want you to have anything that is good. Now, the mental veil, slavery that needs to be pulled back, pull your cap back, and stop thinking that they are the authority. Stop thinking that they taught you because you taught them. And once you get that, but I know, indoctrination, direct coercion, you know, implementing the social engineering of calling you a Negro or colored in a black, which the prophet told you is a brand, therefore it's not your name. It's not. It's a brand. That's why he said don't do all your business in your free national name, right? Or appellation, right? Leave that old stuff where it is, right? And people who are lazy and thought, well, the prophet said not to give up our old name. No, the lawful position of that is called what? Ex-rel. Oh, what's ex-rel mean? This is some good drink. Who made this? Who's in the house? Is he in the house? He was my greatest. I ain't seen him in a long time. So I think he must be. This is his drink. wish I could move with you. Yes. Please give them my regards to that. Say thank you very much. So, where was that? Let me bring something out. X-ray. X-relation. X-relation. I know. Oh, I have an X-relationship with my old straw name. It is not a straw name, Moors. Now for Moors, it's a nom-de-guerre. Why? Because that means that it is a fictitious name, a war name, and a name assumed for a time. That's what it is. So it has been assumed for a time, and the time is up. It is a war name because why? Because they're violating your civil liberties, right? Which means, and that's treason and fraud, which means anyone who violates takes an oath to the Constitution and violates it is participating in war against it and treason. It's a war name. That's why the prophet said it is a brand or a coin branded upon the Lord. You think your mother gave it to you and put your name, you put it in, that being your name, you say in all caps and she did it. That sounds like some crazy, lazy stuff that somebody got to and don't want to go no further. Once again, turn the heads of the sisters and make it feel like it's their fault. All of this shit is their fault. How about that? And because of that, they are the only ones who are going to fix it. That's why she's on the cover of the 101, and the great meaning is on when she would please wake up and take her place amongst the affairs of man. So, I was going back and go to the logistics of the fact of, or the non-fact of, that you think that your mother did this to you, and no. I said this before, and some people who are here today may have heard it before. Some people who are here today may have never heard it. Some people listening may have heard it before. Some people listening may have never heard it, but I'm going to say it again. Your mother said you were whatever. Johann, John Smith, no matter. Let's say she said John Smith. Let's just say that. Well, that's a bad one to choose. Carl Gilliam, or whatever it is. They, not her, took that and put it in all caps, made a bond with it, put it on the market. Your mama didn't do that. See, that was not her intent. They did that. They took what she said, did that. And we went around thinking they did it, and we're going to go and redeem it. I'm going to keep talking about this redemption thing, because I'm going to warn all of you right now. We all warn people all the time. They just necessarily are what we want of what we know. That's all we can share is what we know. All right? It's not a matter of counting out how many times we right, how many times we wrong. This is experience, but I can guarantee you this right now, here and now. The gig is up. The time is about the truth and what is real. All right? If you have done a freaking redemption crap, it really bothers me because for years we've been telling people this. It's coming back on you in a minute because you made a contract, an agreement, because you believed that your mother did that and you won't make it right. Not only about whether you believed your mother did it, how about the fact that you actually believe that that is some valid shit in the first place? Because it ain't. It's void ab initio. What does ab initio mean? Ab is first. So that means from the beginning, initio. The initial matter is ab, the first initial matter. From the beginning, this crap was void because it's not a contract. Never was a contract. It's a bond. And it never was you. The native Negro color black was branded and coined upon the Moors in 1774. Never was you, and you found out it's not you. Just declare your nationality. All of those concepts fall by the wayside. For the most part, because they're not contracts in the first place, because the law of contract does not make this a lawful contract anyway. It's the mindset that you think it is that makes you think that not only are you going to do that, but we talked earlier, I think I heard Emily saying earlier about the emotions we work on. Oh, yeah, they got my name up on the stock market, huh? Well, I'm going to fix them, and I'm going to give me a little piece. I'm going to capture it. What the hell is wrong with you? How you going to make something that's void from the beginning void good? How can it be good if it never was? That's just one thought on it. And what are you capturing? You better capture yourself first. But so you want to capture, which means that you are saying, I'm going to participate in it. So that makes you a party to it. And you know what I mean? Half-baked people go out and sell you a redemption. Like, really? Redeem what? You better redeem yourself. And the Redeemer really is mother. First Redeemer. Because she's going to have to end up doing all the redeeming, but redeem that to yourself. You better redeem yourself. From yourself. From your lower self, as a matter of fact. Because all of this crap going on is operations of the lower self that many call the devil. We all know there ain't no devil. We're all operating from that lower self instead of the higher self. That's it, that's all. It's not complicated. And we're operating in a state of mental slavery, of which the prophet said, I've come to take you out of your mental slavery. And that's why he gave keys to study, so that you could put these pieces together and realize what is and what really is not. But we think we're going to find some resolve in going through, like, we're nationals. National domicile, right? And then we go to quasi-national stuff. Oh, that's because we don't know what quasi-national is. Because if we knew what quasi-national is, we wouldn't be doing quasi-national stuff. If we knew what national meant, we'd stick with that. What is quasi-national? Every single state is quasi-national. So, papers they got for you to fill out to come into their jurisdiction, trying to bring you into the quasi-national jurisdiction. But you can do it national. But you're not doing national stuff. And then you're giving credence to their stuff, credentials, to that which is false and void. Look, how simple can it be that the law says that you, just give me an example. Oh, I wanted you to comment on something, but like, I want to say the law says you have the right to travel without all of these instruments. And then there's somebody on the street talking about, I'm going to pull you off the car and put you in jail because you don't have a license instrument. I mean, does it have to be any more clear than that? Oh, but that's right. The Europeans want to have safety. They want to have safety because something could happen. Did it happen? Did it happen? There's a case law, I don't know if you remember, that says that you can't act upon something that didn't happen yet. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Use the mic. Use the mic. How you doing, brother? And I also want you to explain the difference, if you will, when I was saying that non-begeer and straw man. That the straw man is what the Europeans do. Oh, and that's another thing before you do. Another thing to remember as she's going to explain this too. Remember, the salvation of those who are naturalized citizens, subject citizens, which could be corporations, right? And what's the other word I'm looking for? Foreign nationals, meaning they're national somewhere else, but they're still nationals and expected to be treated. Their methods of doing things and resolving things could never be the same as yours, because this is your ancestral state. And the reason they had you believing you were Negro, colored, or black is to pull you away from that fact and want to go back to Africa in a boat or something when you're in Northwest Africa. But yet the truth is, they actually the ones that came over on a boat. You see the reverse? Yeah, that's case law. And
I can't remember the case law exactly, but I'm going to hunt it down. But there is a case law that says that you cannot be fined or reprimanded for something that you might do in the future.
Yep.
Cannot be. They can't give you a ticket. They can't reprimand you. They can't do any of that for something that might happen in the future.
Now let me interject right here before you go into the straw. That's what they do all day long. They make up policies and statutes based, which is not law, based on what they think you're gonna do, because they are fearful of you on what you're going to do, always have been, and because of another flip, because they know that you were so ignorant of the law. And on the third flip, because as long as they can do that, they'll make finance to feed their family on the fact that you're ignorant and that they're living off of your virtues and your ignorance at the same time. All right, you want the straw man? The difference between straw man and nom de guerre, people will call a straw man, which a lot of Europeans use the the position of straw man. Isn't there a distinction between the two that we have to start using nom de guerre, although straw man has a definition?
Right. Actually, straw man only has a definition in the, I think it's the 6th edition of the Black's Law Dictionary. So you know that's very recently made up. It wasn't in the 5th, it wasn't in the 4th, the 3rd, the 2nd, or the 1st. But a lot of people will run around and they'll say, oh, you know, that I'm not the straw man. But you don't want to, if somebody says, okay, well, what's that? What is it? I mean, when you say the word straw man, I'm not saying that it's not, it has some relevance. I'm just saying that immediately people are going to look at you as mentally incompetent. You can't use words like straw man. You have to use the correct terminology, which is nom de guerre. Now, if somebody who is sitting in a seat of law says, what is a nom de guerre? You can tell them, you know, that's not your job to educate them. They're supposed to know before they sat in their seat.
This is true.
So look it up. For that reason alone, you should just dismiss this, because you don't know.
Oh, very good one, very good one. Because there is a case law that says officers of the court, that's if that's what they are, they're pretending to be that, have no immunity to their liability. They are deemed to know the law. So they're telling you they're an officer of the court. They're pretending, first of all, because we've already determined that. We talk about experiences that we've been through in the court. You can talk about experiences you've been through. You're not in the court. You're in the meeting room. We have identified all parties. First thing in law is all parties must be identified. Y'all, this place is not a court, because if it were, it would have a delegation of authority. Now, we found New York, right? Suppose New York, a judicial case law that says any institution or association that utilizes the word court when it is not a court, it is a misdemeanor and they can be fined. How about that one? that they have gotten over on our lack of knowledge for a very, very long time. And so, my people perish for what? Noble Gerard said what? Study, study, study. The problem we have is we think we've got to study what they put before us when we forgot that we're the ones who taught them, and we got to go back to the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. What time is it right now? Okay, where's Raheem? I just wanted to have him, hey. What? He said, yeah, come on out for a second, man. We don't get to see you here at this. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Come close out the class. That's right. Bring you on out, brother, man. Somebody told me last night they like to say that you were saying that when we did the thing with the explanation of Sister Sandra, and I heard Brand, I heard people, I just want to say this, I heard E mentioning, and some people were offended by the fact of the emotions of that recording. You know, yeah, but we did give a warning that it was going to be emotional to prove a point that was a hard point to bring home, but we trust we brought it home. Now, I will say this. Somebody said, oh, they forgot to tell you that the white man that was doing it was from law school. I want to say this. If that's how you see it, that you can only know law if you go to a law school, that's your problem. Because what that person was saying is that we can't know law unless we go to a European law school. Or to a law school like well, they would say like a white man, but I can't say white man because I just can't. So like a European would. That's the problem. That's the mental slavery. The law is you manifested out, and it is described in 7 articles and 10 regulations. Tell me you can't know that. That was the problem. And Liz was telling me that some people called it that I like that, and some people said it was emotional. Well, we had to bring it home like that. So just greet.
I just want to say, peace and love, family. It's good to be here with y'all. Definitely don't have enough time to say what I would like to say. It's a different thing. But I'm
next week maybe.
But soon, definitely soon. But I just want to say I know it's not a new year. It is a new timetable. That's it. It's a Gregorian calendar year. It's the first class of this Gregorian calendar year, not the actual New Year, which is in March. So I definitely look forward to being in the building more, and I just hope that everybody makes good use of their time, however you measure that, you know, because there really is no such thing as time. We know that. But these cycles that we have, you know, they go fast. I just hope people make the best of them and that we make more progress this year.
Yes.
Indeed. So with that being said, peace and love, family, and I appreciate being here.
Everybody enjoys seeing this. Don't you enjoy seeing this? Yes. And I will say this, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that, Brother Abdullah, who does the etymology, you didn't know him, right? He will be here to do something called etymology and reading. And he talked about, say etymology and reading, because people don't always know what etymology is, and they don't know what is it. But, you know, what is etymology? Etymology and reading. And it's good because even though we are graduated high school, some college, we do not understand the etymon, which is like an atom, etymology of words. And because of us not knowing that, that's how we have been tricked. And I will say this as a close, because we talked about there's no time, only cycles, and we talked about reversing and polarities, and this is the word time, right, which there is no time, right, T-I-M-E, right? Reverse it, it's E-M-I-T, correct? Emitting of energies. That's all there is. With that, who is going to do? We'll see you next week. And just so you know, we will always be here on Wednesday until we're not here anymore, and you all will know that. And if we're not going to be here, we will post that we're not going to be here. But if you see no post on RVBey publication, like I have on that page, then we intend to be here. Because some people have made some confusion, and I have heard that we don't do classes here anymore, and that's just not true. We do them on blog as well, and on occasion, such as last week. Was it last week? We blogged for listening, but we weren't physically here. So don't get it confused. If we're not going to be here, it will be posted. Otherwise than that, we're here for 9 years now. Now, lastly, is Dr. Neek here tonight? Dr. Neek? No, she's not. All right. Now I'll catch her next time. Who's doing what is it? Oh, real quick. Sorry, I got a minute to say this. Oh, yeah, hold on. Thank you. Hold on. Section 3, use of the term court is prohibited. No person, firm, association, or corporation shall hereafter use or employ the term court as part of or in connection with the name of any body, any board, any bureau, any association, organization, or corporation, or in referring to any body, board, bureau, association, organization, or corporation, in such manner as to be calculated reasonably to lead to the belief that the body, board, bureau, association, organization, or corporation is vested with judicial power or is a part of the judicial system of the state. The use of such term being expressly limited by this section for reference to a court of record or a court not of record duly organized and existing under laws of the state as a part of the judicial system of the state. Any violation of this section shall be a misdemeanor. We found out they're not courts. You need to charge them with a misdemeanor. Yeah, they're all county, yes. This is from the judicial New York. He'll tell you where it's from. He got it. He pulls up all the stuff. With that, hold on, everybody. We've been here 9 years, and for those same 9 years, Carmen and Jean have been here as well. First, Ebonicio, let's say. Ebonicio. Carmen's solar return is today. Oh, she's all embarrassed. You see them back there at the door. So how we gonna? We gotta sing it. We gotta sing it to her, right? Huh? Well, some people want to say happy birthday to you, and other people want to say, what's that other song they say? Today is the birthday, and then other people want to say happy birthday. Which one are we gonna do? Which one, baby? Come up here. Oh, come on, man. Today is your birthday. No, today is your solar return. Why is it a solar return? Because the sun has returned in its relationship with the earth to the same. I knew he was coming. Give me a microphone for the brother. Yeah, boy. All right, get that microphone right there. Make some noise. Who's going to do an invocation now? Brother Lawrence. Good to see you, brother. All right, go ahead. Carmen, who sing, hold on. Been here 9 years, you were never in. Isn't she adorable? Isn't she so kind with a nice demeanor? All right? And she is really, I think, she's sort of clairvoyant, but she probably mad because I said that because she doesn't want anybody to come up to her. If you ask her, what do you see? She'll tell you. Don't ask her. What do you see? She'll tell you. All right? She might tell you, you need to go home and burn some sage because there's some bad energy around you. And if she does tell you, and if she inadvertently speaks that to you, follow her word. Just do it. Don't ask questions. It's from, all right, let's see. Are you going to stand? No, you don't want to stand. She said, come on, stand up, Carmen. Come on up here. And let me say something. You want to come on. The brother's going to sing to you. Now, here's what I admire. We got this white hair because it's for wisdom. I I love it. Mine is white too. Y'all just don't know. It will be in a minute too. I love it. All right, Carmen. This is Carmen. She's been here from the beginning. Now come on over here. Don't be shy. Let me see. Oh, right here, right here. I'm out of the way, man. Hold on. That's going over the air. I'm going to put this right here. You go ahead. Just play with your mic you got there. That one's over there and that one's here. Go ahead.
Wow.
Happy solar return. Happy solar return. So since no one knows her solar return, if you wish to, next week she'll be here. You can give her a little guest or note or whatever you want to give her. It'll be great. All right. Who's doing the invocation now? Brother Lawrence. Brother Lawrence here. Hold this. So this is for the over the air. Just click that right here. Yeah, over the air. Still in the pocket. And then that one for his children, but it's there.
Islam. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Repeat after me. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By night and by day, with Holy Prophet, so we'll do Ali. Amen.
Amen.